lethal, irresponsibly marketed products, ensuring that the deadly cycle of violence would not only continue, but grow. And grow it did. Mass shootings spiked in 2017. School shootings were no longer aberrations. They were expected. It occurred to me that perhaps the most obscene thing about the Parkland massacre was that it was predictable. We were waiting for it. As the coverage turned to the victims, in the litany of shattered innocence and dreams, I saw a beautiful picture of a dark-haired girl flying through the air, beaming. Jaime Guttenberg, the anchor intoned. She was a dancer. I knew that girl. A dark-haired girl who lit up the room when she danced. I knew her. I turned off the TV and called my daughter, a 19-year-old dancer who was studying in Chicago. I needed to hear her voice. In the days and weeks and months and years that have followed, the Marjory Stoneman Douglas community has refused to allow us to accept the absurd notion that the blood of our children is the cost of freedom. Something would get done. The young people would make sure of it. Just 3 days after the shooting, I was struck by the fearlessness and clarity of Emma Gonzalez as she called out the NRA and the politicians it owns with the refrain, "We call BS." Delaney Tarr, David Hogg, Cameron Kasky. The articulate grace under pressure of all the Never Again MSD and March for Our Lives kids was mind-boggling to me. There was something shameful about the fact that kids so recently traumatized should have to be the ones thrust into the media spotlight to fight a battle my generation should have won decades ago. But they are up to the task. I started clocking Jamie's father, Fred Guttenberg, in interviews and events following the shooting. At first, I could feel him gasping through his grief as if he might drown in despair. But I could feel his outrage grow after Donald Trump lied to his face about standing up to the NRA. And I could feel his resolve stiffen as the enormity and the moral bankruptcy of what he was up against revealed itself. Soon, he seemed to adopt the mantra of the great John Lewis that when we are confronted with injustice, we must be willing to get into trouble. Good trouble. Necessary trouble. There he was at the Kavanaugh hearing, shunned as he tried to shake the nominee's hand. I cheered when his inability to contain his outrage in the face of Trump's lies got him kicked out of the State of the Union address. Fred Guttenberg is one of those rarest of human beings who, as they endure the unimaginable, have the strength to see beyond their own suffering. They hear a call to action to do whatever they can to alleviate that suffering in others, and, in doing so, hold this country up to its spectacular, unfulfilled promise. They understand that politics is the way we create our moral vision. They know that despair is a luxury the future cannot afford, and that action is the antidote to despair. Fred Guttenberg inspires me every day as a citizen and as an activist. But more than anything, I'm inspired by Fred's example as a father. A loving, heroic dad who, as long as he is here, and no matter what obstacles he faces, will fight to make sure that his daughter's voice is heard. Bradley Whitford. Introduction. On a Day of Love. My mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any real catastrophe in the movies or on the air, always look for the helpers. There will always be helpers. That's why I think if news programs could make a conscious effort of showing rescue teams, medical people, anyone coming into a place of tragedy, to be sure that they include that. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know there's hope. Fred Rogers, Interview with Television Academy, 1999. It's true what they say. Grief is love with no place to go. When you lose someone or something, you have all these feelings that no longer have a destination. The feelings just seep out of you like air in a drafty house. To get by, you have to find people to help you. You have to find your helpers. They will be the fuel to keep you going, the spark to get